Gentleman from Florida.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to yield myself such time as I may consume.
Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, sir. I rise today in support of my bill, House Resolution 1044, commemorating this year as the 65th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz, the largest of the Nazi extermination camps. Over 1 million people were systematically tortured and brutally murdered there. The Nazis at Auschwitz conducted cruel medical experiments on prisoners, including children. They intentionally infected prisoners with diseases and performed forced sterilizations and castrations on adults. Most of those who perished at Auschwitz were Jews, but others that the Nazi perceived as enemies or inferior to Hitler's Aryan image were also murdered at Auschwitz. It was hell on earth. Leo Schneiderman, a Holocaust survivor, said the following about his arrival at Auschwitz, and I quote, "When we came in, the minute the gates opened up, we heard screams and barking of dogs, and then we got out of the train, and everything went so fast. Men separated from women, children torn from the arms of mothers, the elderly chased like cattle, the sick, the disabled, were handled like packs of garbage. My mother ran over to me and grabbed me by the shoulders and said, she told me, 'Labeli, I'm going to see you no more. Take care of your brother,'" end quote. After years of misery and suffering, only a few thousand had remained when the Soviet army arrived on a snowy day in 1945. Most of those survivors were too weak to realize that they had been liberated. We must remember what happened and ensure that humanity always prevails over hateful savagery and oppression. And the resolution we are considering today, Mr. Speaker, commemorates the 65th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz and honors the victims who perished at the hands of the Nazis. It expresses gratitude to the people whose efforts helped defeat the Nazi regime. It reaffirms the commitment of the House to bolster Holocaust education here in the United States and abroad, and to ensure that what happened during the Holocaust is never allowed to happen again. And it also urges all countries to enhance their efforts to fight bigotry, racism, intolerance, and anti-Semitism. We must heed the lessons of history, remain vigilant, and stand firmly against purveyors of hatred who incite to violence against Israel, against the Jewish people, and all of us who stand for liberty and the fundamental rights of all human beings. As Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu said at a ceremony last week, which marked the 65th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz, and I quote, "We will always remember what the Nazi Amalek did to us, and we won't forget to be prepared for the next Amalek, who is making an appearance on the stage of history and once again threatening to destroy the Jews. We will not take this lightly and believe that these are empty statements. We will never forget and always remember to stand guard." So as we commemorate the 65th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz, I urge my colleagues to keep those words in mind and work to support and ensure that the world will never again see another Holocaust. I would also like to use this opportunity to say that I will be introducing a bill this week that will open the door for Holocaust survivors to bring Holocaust-era insurance claims against insurance companies in the U.S. courts. This bill will force insurance companies to disclose the names of Holocaust insurance policy holders. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I urge my colleagues to render their full support to this resolution, and I reserve the balance of our time.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Florida.
Mr. Speaker, may I ask